Demonstrate what his father did, but who he be, that comes from his mother.
Hello, my butterflies. Welcome back to QueenTitiLoves. Today I have a really good topic, right? So I always talk about topics for girls. I have a topic for a guy today. So let's talk. If you hear something in the background or whatever, that's my sister. Okay? We're here in Vegas to see Usher, so I will be vlogging as much as I can for that. Teaching me to have fun too. I'm just saying. Okay, so today's topic, listen. Oh yeah, the technicalities. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and here's a new one. Donate to DivinedPurpose. It's a tax write-off. I'm a real 501c, like with my real name, like I didn't just start an Instagram page and then say I was a business owner. That was shade. Okay, let's start with my brows. Out here, oh my God, it's like 167,000 degrees. We're gonna get through it, y'all. Okay, so for today's topic, I have a story, okay? I have a story. So the story is that there is a guy who's dating a girl, both under 21, okay? They have a baby together, and then when they have this baby together, they also, move in together, right? So the guy was raised with a mom and a dad in the home. Just a little stick a pin right there. That doesn't always matter, but for this particular case, it does. It's a part of the story. So, guy raised in the house with his mother and his father, right? The father is like the old school type of dad, right? So the one that's like, oh, I go to work, I bring my check home, I give it to my wife, and she tells me how to live my best life, okay? Everything that he does, like the way that he talks, is all about his family. And if he is listening, this is dedicated to your wife. She has since passed from cancer, but he's still A1 dad, even to his grown kids. So, boy moves girl in, boy starts to mirror what dad does, right? So he works, even sacrificed and took a job a couple of states over so that he could provide a good life, or the best that he could, for his family. Girlfriend, I don't believe works. That'll be important in a minute. So guy is a couple states over. He's essentially sacrificing. He's missing things for his child, and he needs to take care of himself while he's away, right? So he's doing the same thing kind of that dad did. He's sending his money home and making sure that he takes care of his family, because, you know, just because he's in another state, rent is still due. And he's making sure that his baby and the baby mama have everything that they need. I don't believe she works. So girlfriend starts to act funny, never has money, never has money. He at this point needs transportation back and forth to work, and something happened with his truck. So instead of getting his truck fixed, listen to this, y'all not gonna believe this. Instead of getting his truck fixed, he saved up a little bit out of the money and went and bought a bike because it was less expensive. Where they do that at now? Child, listen. This is what I'm about to tell you, okay? So he does that. Girlfriend, he wants to take some of the money and buy himself a car. Girlfriend basically says, like, there is no money, right? couple of things wrong with that. It's a couple of things wrong with my face too. I need some lip gloss. If you are the caretaker of the home, that includes everybody in the home, right? So you need to make sure that the man is taken care of, so he doesn't have to worry about anything. He can just work and take care of his family the best way that he can. He doesn't need to be worried about other things that are unnecessary, right? So do you still have to deal with real life even if you're the breadwinner and you're providing for the home? Yes, you do. But do you have to deal with things like you shouldn't be having to borrow money for food, borrowing money to get anything done, because if you're the homemaker, you're the accountant, you're the banker, you're the teacher, you're the everything for the household. So you're supposed to manage the money in such a way that his efforts won't go in vain. Now, if you are one of those couples that are like paycheck to paycheck, so you don't have the money to necessarily have leftovers, then I get it. But you shouldn't be out partying and stuff like that. And the girl goes out partying like 8 days a week. And I don't think that that's okay. So he's trying to mirror what he was taught and take care of his household and his family, and she's not appreciative. When he tries to talk to her and ask her things about, well, how's the money being spent, where's everything going? Because at this point, right, if I give you the leeway to be the head of the household and then something goes wrong and there's really no explanation for it, then we need to talk about it, because apparently something's going wrong, and I'm not just going to sit here and keep working towards something in vain, and there technically is no end date, because you think that certain things are going on at home, one of them being saving, and then you find out that it's not. You would be a fool. Now, God does take care of babies and fools, but I mean fool in a different kind of way. You would be a fool not to at some point stop and ask a question, right? You need to ask what's happening with the money, because that doesn't make any sense. If he can sacrifice and be several states away by himself, meaning now he has to take care of himself out there and take care of home, why would you not do what you're supposed to do to make sure everything is okay? And then if he wants to have a discussion, you're one of the lucky ones, because guys don't usually talk that much, and they especially these days don't want to talk about things like that, right? Especially at an under 21 age. They're not thinking about things like that. They're still out there trying to be a kid and do the things that they want to do. Even if they have a kid, they still have like a little bit of a selfish mindset, or immature. I won't say, well, yeah, selfish too, but immature mindset, right? So my question was, did he marry her and we didn't know about it? And the answer was no. And I said, okay. I said, well, it's a couple things, because he's really upset about it. It's a couple things. Number one, cut that off, because you've already determined that she is not responsible enough to take care of the finances. So you take care of the finances from where you are. You can still take care of your family. You just have to do it different, because in a relationship, when one person is weaker, you don't give them authority over that role. That's why you have a partner, so that you can do things together. And if one of the people, the male or the female, in this case the female, if she is upset, that is not your problem. She'll get over it, because it's the best for your family. And if she wants the best for the family too, then she should be able to identify that there is a need now for her family, and her one job was to manage the money, and she didn't do it. So now different measures need to be taken. Why would he continue to work and not be able to even take care of himself, because he's essentially worried about her and the baby, but she's not worried about him? I'm all for taking care of your family and doing the right thing and stuff like that, but to the point of your own demise, no. I just don't. That's not okay. That's not cool. And my next question was, who raised her? Because it's grown women that's still waiting for or wanting a man to do those type of things. Baby, look at those eyebrows snatched. And that was quick too. My sister laughing at me. She probably like, you really sit in front of a camera and talk to yourself. I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to y'all. Let's put my primer on so I can do the rest of my face, because I'm only gonna wear a little bit of eyeshadow. Since we're in Vegas and my eyebrows is gonna slide off my face when I get in the elevator, does it really matter? Not really. But yeah, you would be a fool to keep doing the same thing. You tried it that way, I commend you. You tried it that way, and you may just have to put that on the back burner and try something like that again later, because she is not mature enough to handle that type of responsibility. That's what you've identified. She is, how was she raised? You're going off of how you're raised, but you didn't take into account how she was raised. And now you're trying to have conversations with her, and she doesn't want to have those conversations. And that's not okay. That's a huge problem for me, actually. I'm a communicator. I like to, y'all know I'm looking for the tacky brush. I'm a communicator. I like to talk about things, and even in places where there's an area of opportunity, I really don't get offended. So I don't know how people get offended because somebody wants to discuss something that you could do differently. That legit doesn't make any sense. You want me to just keep letting you throw my life down the drain and party like a rock star with my money while I'm sacrificing something major by missing my son. I'm missing, he has a son, by missing important milestones, missing just being at home. That's a very responsible sacrifice that, again, grown adults have a problem making. Ladies, if you have a man or a boyfriend or whoever, whatever you want to title them, but they are attempting to be, or not attempting, they are displaying the qualities of an alpha male and attempting to take care of you and do things the way that they really kind of should be. Should it be to that extent? I don't know. But at least he's trying. Well, not trying, he's doing it. And you're causing a hardship to your family. You really need to take a look at yourself and evaluate yourself, because there's not a lot of men that are going to do that. And we talk a lot about, what a man does to a woman, and he's not going to find another one like her and blah, blah, blah. But the same holds true for a male. When you get a man that is doing the right thing, and I want to cover my eyes now because the way these bags are set up, I need to pray over my face. The way that these males are set up now, that's not very typical. That's a very old school way of thinking, and it should be appreciated. Appreciated to the point where you let them do whatever you want to do to you and crazy stuff like that. No, but to the point where you get to experience life with a partner. That's priceless. It really, really is. And in a relationship, you're going to teach each other. There are going to be things that you are going to learn about yourself. And in those areas of weakness, there's a reason why there's a partnership. If there's an area of weakness, don't let your pride get in the way of you learning how to do it, right? So maybe she thought, oh, it was only $10 to get into the club and a drink was only this. And then she looked up and it was just too much. Maybe she goes out a lot because she really misses him. And let's just be clear, out of the two, I personally have always said, if I would never want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's a lot of work. It really is. So maybe she needs an outlet, but she's going to have to make more mature and better choices, because essentially it's hurting her family and keeping her in the situation for a little bit longer, right? Because the more he gains experience, people typically can, apply to different companies, come home, you have more opportunities. But as long as she leaves him stuck there and feeling like that, that's not cool. You don't want him to be so separated from his family that he gives up and he stops trying. That's the worst thing that you could do. If you have a willing partner, male or female, you should appreciate them. And I'm just going to say, especially a male, because of the times that we're in. It's just not very common anymore that type of thing happens. But I thought that story was amazing. But when I heard it, of course, because I knew I know the dad, I wasn't for it. I was like, tell him I said, stop taking care of her, make her but get a job. I'm putting foundation on her face. That's great. What is this one? Melania. Make her but get a job and go out there and see how hard it is to earn that money, and then maybe she'll have a greater appreciation for it. Both roles are not easy. It's not easy being away from your child, and it's not easy to be away from your partner for both of them. But you can't be lashing out. I really think she's doing it because she's lashing out. I do. I think that she's in some way feeling like, I didn't have this baby by myself, so why am I here doing it by myself? But not really wanting to, I think that's a little bit too dark, but not really wanting to say much either, because she also knows, hell, he don't want to be out there either. He want to be at home, and they both making a sacrifice. I'll be right back. I need to get this off my hands. So this is my dress that I'm wearing tonight. Okay. Now let me get a little bit lighter. Okay, but yes, both are making sacrifices. I'm thinking, because she's young, they're young. She went from getting to just be able to be a teenager to motherhood. That's a lot. It really is. So I'm sure that's why she's acting out, but this is not the way to do it. Once you decided to have a kid, you decided to think differently. Once you decided to be in a relationship, you decided not to be selfish. And you're kind of in a good situation, man. You really are. It could be worse. I'm sure you know somebody that is not in, let's see how dark that is? That's not in the best situation that became a mom. But it's going to take some learning and some growing. So I told my friend to tell his son he had a decision to make. And it was totally up to him, because he can be a father without being with the girl. But he will need to handle it the right way, because he's been taking care of her all this time. If he decides that he doesn't want to be with her, he has to give her or he should give her, in case she can't go back home, like a time. Like, in 6 months, I don't want to be in this relationship. I'm giving you 6 months to get your stuff together, and then I won't be paying this, and I won't be doing that, because I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. The reason why I went to that extreme is because she's not talking to him. He's trying to talk and figure out what's going on, and he's all the way in another state, and she's not responding. So in that case, she's not really leaving him any options to work with her. She's essentially made a choice. So she's going to have to live with it. And it's perfectly okay. Do I feel like at that point he would be considered abandoning his family? I don't. Because he made all the efforts that he could to try to talk to her. It's been a couple months. And he's still trying to work it out. He obviously loves her. Otherwise, he wouldn't be, calling his dad, trying to figure out what to do, because he's asking his dad, and I'm talking to his dad, and I'm cracking up, because he's like, well, I did that with your mom and all this other stuff. And I'm like, sir, you was married to his mama. That's different. And y'all was older. You were older. when you got to that level. It's baby steps. Think about the steps that you took before you got there and before you realized what formula worked for you and your wife, and then share those tips with him, because it could work. Every relationship's going to have problems. It could work. They're just young. He's frustrated. He's homesick. He has needs for things and they're not being met. I'm sure he misses being around his family, a whole bunch of things. So they'll be fine. But the key here is the different levels of things that you will go through when you plunge into being an adult. The younger you have a kid, people are looking at you, especially your family, they're looking at you to make certain decisions, right? Because you made the choice to have a baby. Let me bake my face. Yo, this is so funny. I'm doing all of this, and in 2 seconds, it's not even gonna look like this. Watch. I'm gonna put this under here so I could bake, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of eyeshadow. I think I'm gonna do a smoky eye. Okay, but yes, once you make a decision to have a kid, be it a mistake or not, once you make that decision to move forward with parenthood, you're viewed differently. Yes, we know that you're still a child, but just like you're gonna tell us when you want to do things your way, that you've grown, you have to make grown-up decisions, and it requires conversations. I really don't understand, for the life of me, people that get in relationships and they don't want to have discussions. Like, they don't want to talk about problems or where you could do better or anything like that. Like, how do you think that it's okay to just essentially do whatever you want to do? I'm going to use this palette. Which one is this one? Avani. And this one is from Morphe. And let's get into this smoky eye. I'm going to use a smoky black because black is probably going to be too harsh for today. Use this brush. You need to have discussions and be okay with not being right all the time, because you're not going to be. Even some areas where you thought you were doing really, really well and it works today, it may not work for the situation that comes about tomorrow. Be open and be flexible and listen to your partner and then make a compromise. But make sure that you listen. Make sure that if you're not married, try not to make married decisions. In that, if I were him, and I told his dad this, I would have not put all of my money in her hands. That's just point blank period. First, they're too young. Clearly, you don't know what her spending habits are like, what her level of maturity is like. And I'm sure, based on what has occurred, that they didn't even sit down and make a budget. So there was no plan. It was just, well, I saw Dad give Mom his paycheck and then walk away. Well, Mom was also college educated. Mom was in accounting, I believe. Mom was running a whole business. The situations weren't the same. So he has to take a certain level of responsibility for that decision as well. That was the easy way of doing things. Like I was trying to tell my friend, like, I wouldn't want to be the girl that you came in and just handed your whole paycheck to either. I would prefer that we actually take the time to sit down, talk about the bills, talk about what our budget is going to look like for the year, and plan together, right? Because the easy part is always just dropping something off. That's easy. But you have to make those decisions together. I think that if they would have did a little bit more planning and actually talked about what the expectations were, and I think I'm going to blow it out with red. I'm going to try to blow it out with red. Let's see. If I look like a glow-in-the-dark vampire bat when I'm done, it's okay. Right? Right, Tamara? One time, real quick, y'all. One time, my sister looked like a glow-in-the-dark vampire bat because I think it was a summer. It was so hot, we wasn't really going outside. So she's a little palish, and because she wasn't getting no sun, she was a little not colored. And one night we was watching. Oh my gosh, what was we watching? It was Jay Leno, something like that, a late night show. Saturday Night Live. It was Saturday Night Live, and they was doing a skit. And it was about a famous person and walking in the room, and they was like, "Oh my gosh, you scare me! You look like a glow-in-the-dark vampire bat," because the person was, lighter than what they were born at this point. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, if you're going to do something like that, every partnership has a plan. Everybody has their role, but you discuss what your role is. You don't literally just get to say, well, I saw mom and dad do this, so I'm going to mirror the part that I saw. If that's what you choose to do, I think that's good, but have a conversation. Then his son should have sat down and talked to him and asked what that looked like. Dad, this is something that I want to do, and parents, try to be transparent with your kids. Otherwise, they'll go out there and make the mistakes that we don't want them to make, that we can actually save them from by just sharing our experience. Things like that. Now, is it going to always work for them? No, but at least you gave them the tools. Let me clean off this brush a little bit. You gave them the tools to make the right decision and understand why you made that decision too. And the skill set that's required, that required a conversation. That was a big thing, to just let somebody have control over the money without telling them or having that discussion of what that end result was going to look like. Oh snap, I did it. Of what that end result was going to look like, and check in. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to check in. I am. My husband and I still have the money from our money dance at our wedding. It's still in our savings account, and every now and then I would ask him if he wanted to do anything with the money or anything like that. But it's about communication, especially as it relates to money, because that's one of the biggest areas of divorce, unfortunately, is money. And it's because somebody either doesn't make enough, they're not being responsible enough with it. It's something to do with the stability of money, or either the lack of money. And at some point, girl gonna need to get a job too, because clearly she got time on her hands. So if I knew that my partner was having financial problems, or it arose that, oh my gosh, now we need another car because I left you with my car, now we need another car. Maybe, while you're going out at night, there's so many things you could do. You could be driving for Uber. You can get a graveyard job, because maybe she doesn't work during the day because she doesn't have childcare in the daytime. And in some areas, depending on what you need, childcare can be more than the job that you would have gotten. She could be going to school. She could be doing anything. She needs to, or any woman that is not doing anything, or they have a guy that's taking care of everything, you still need to be able to be a full partner. And when you identify areas of opportunity or something that is going to be needed in the family, that's for you to step up and see where you can help. I don't care if you braid hair. If you don't want to stay at home, then maybe in your neighborhood, you're the one that could be the caretaker for all the other kids. They could come to your house, and you can watch them instead of the parents paying childcare. Heck, charge half. Do whatever you need to do to contribute to your household. But those are the conversations that you need to have, and that's why it's so important to have somebody that's equally yoked and not just go off of what you see. So in this particular case, the guy saw something that worked. It was honorable. It was respectful. It was a good little setup. But both my friend and his wife worked. They each had a role in that. And so it's never a good idea to completely copy what somebody else does. And that's the plan. Because it may not work for you. You may not have the skill set. You might not have the desire. It's so many things that go into every decision that you make. But whatever decision you make, at least think about it. And the biggest piece is to talk about it. The communication that you have with whomever you're doing these things with. Let me get my bottom lashes. Hold on. Communication and planning is everything. I think that if people communicated more, a lot of relationships would be a lot stronger too. I think that these particular couple, I don't think that she's ready for a relationship. I think that too much was thrown at her at once and she wasn't prepared. Because that could happen to a boy or a girl. It doesn't just have to be a dad. We usually hear about how a dad wasn't prepared and he wasn't mature. No, there are girls out there like that too. The biggest difference with girls being like that out there is that their moms usually take the baby, so you don't hear about it because their moms take the baby and they go out there and do whatever they want to do. And then we talk about the boy, but don't talk about her or discuss her. She's excluded because her mom is essentially picking up her slack. But that's not fair because there are girls that are struggling too. Again, there's no playbook for this thing. It's hard. You don't realize how much is coming your way when you become an adult. And when you add in being a parent, it's hard. And then for them, you add in y'all acting like a whole married couple. That's a lot for somebody that's young and probably just wanting to hang out with her friends. You didn't get a hot girl summer out of high school. You got a baby shower. And unless that's something that you really, really want, because some girls do, right? Unless that's something that you really, really want, it's hard. But it's still not fair for you to make it hard on that man that's trying to do what he needs to do. Get help. I also asked too if they thought she had postpartum, because that might be it too. And no, I'm not making excuses for her where I wouldn't make excuses for a male, because clearly I'm on both of their sides. I'm simply stating the obvious, and I'm dealing with a male. I'm talking to a guy, okay? So I don't know what type of advice he's giving. I'm trying to keep him from saying something weird, in that he's thinking about giving advice as if they're like married. He's thinking about more him and his wife when they're not the same, okay? They're not. Okay, let me put on my lipstick and then I think I'll be all done. Oh, no, do I want to powder my face first or spray my face down? Let's see. Okay, I think I'm going to powder it first. And I'm using my crayon case powder because this stuff is the truth. It just gets everywhere. I don't know why powder be everywhere. That way I can set my face in. Y'all see how that foundation started off as darker, but then once I go over my eyebrows too. Once I contoured my face and added everything else on, it came together. Very interesting. Very interesting the way makeup works. Because I almost started to take it off, and I'm glad that I didn't. I have the sirens going behind me, meaning Tamara telling me what time it is. Did y'all hear me ask her what time it was? See how she did? She don't know how to act. I'm just kidding, Tamara. Just kidding. Ooh, stop. I look so grown up. So I don't know where my blush is. I don't think it's right here. Let me tell you what I would have did if I had a little young tenderoni sending me his check. Okay? I would have been so daggone happy. I would have had everything taken care of. Heck, you know what I'm going to recommend this too. You guys know what she could actually do too? She could. So I can't find my contour stuff with like my blush and stuff in it. So y'all know what I'm gonna do? You got it. I'm gonna use eyeshadow. Because makeup is makeup, right? Y'all, if I mess up, oh my gosh. Okay. Because this stuff is pigmented. If you mess up, what do? Just go back over with your foundation. Duh. Don't be scared. Because that is pink, baby. Okay. Let's see. Perfect. Ooh, Lord, tone that down. Okay. She could be taking finance classes. She could do all kind of stuff. We need to have, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I am going to load some resources in under this video, and one of them is going to be like a budget worksheet, right? It's going to be a budget worksheet because every year at the end of the year I plan my budget for the following year, and I do it with like a 1% increase or something like that. I'll share my formula with you guys, but I don't, number one, bank on a raise. I don't bank on a bonus. I don't bank on taxes. I don't do any of that. I use my regular income, and I try to stay under my income, because if you do that, that's called living below your means. And then if something happens, like you need your car fixed, you have money saved up. Okay, I think that's everything. So let me put on lipstick. I don't really want to wear a color. I just want to wear like a tannish color, but I can't wear purple because I just did red on my eyes. Let's see. What's this one? Okay. I think that, y'all know what we're going to talk about next? Should the man be the one to take the birth control? Here's why I think the man should be the one to take the birth control. We're going to start now, and then I'm going to finish it later. Because a woman can only have one baby or one pregnancy every 9 months, right? That dude could have a baby every day of the week for a whole 365 days a year. So who really needs the birth control? He do. So I think the man should have to take the birth control. And they do all of this strange stuff to women. So why do we have to do it? Let him do it. Let him be responsible for something. Okay? Okay, y'all. Tonight, I'm gonna wear Gucci Guilty. Okay. Okay. That is it. That is my final look. Let's see. Cute, huh? Okay, I gotta go. We're running late. So, goodbye, butterflies. Goodbye. Goodbye, butterflies. Goodbye. Goodbye. Is something wrong with